Hey everyone, I'm Matt Evans and welcome back to Board Game Replay. In this series you're going to be joining us for a post-game discussion where we sit down and talk about our experience with the game and then cut back to replay clips of exciting or fun moments during the game. The game we're going to be playing today is Spartacus from Gale Force 9. Now this is an interesting game because when you first look at the box you think, oh, that's just the art from the TV show. There's no way there's any real game to this, and that's what I thought at first too. I was happy to be proven wrong. This game is actually really good and it's got a lot going on for it. It's got a great intrigue phase where players are going to be playing schemes on one another and backstabbing and making alliances and breaking alliances. There's an auction phase where you're going to be buying resources for your Dominus, for your house. And there's even a little miniatures combat phase where gladiators are going to be going at it in the arena, but just a ton of great player interaction. It's really thematic and it's just a blast to play. Now before I go any further, I just want to mention, for those of you that already know the rules of this game and don't need an overview, as usual there's going to be a link in the description of this video as part of the index where you can skip ahead to the main discussion. In addition to that, you can also click right up here and skip as well. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, we're going to do something a little differently this time. I'm going to give you a real basic rules overview, but then I had a couple of viewers suggest that maybe we should do a whole playthrough of a round of a game just to give you an even better idea of how a game works. I think that's a great idea, so that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to be joined in a moment here with two friends, and we're going to play through an entire game round, explaining things as we go. So that'll hopefully give you a pretty good grasp on how things work. But before we do that, I'll tell you a little bit more about Spartacus. In Spartacus, each player is going to be playing as a powerful Dominus in ancient Rome. It's basically a house or a family, and you're going to be trying to become the most influential house in Rome. And the way that's going to be represented with this influence track at the top of your board. And this is, thematically, this is your influence over Rome and how powerful you are, but mechanically, it's your victory points. So the first player that receives 12 influence in this game at the end of a phase is going to be the winner. Now, I also want to mention that this game has a mature content rating on the box, and the reason that's there is because this game's primary resource for your house is slaves and gladiators. You're going to be wheeling and dealing them, you're going to be gaining gear, you're going to be sending them to their death. Some pretty cruel stuff. I mean, it's appropriate to the time period, and it's all in good fun for this game, but it's something you definitely need to be aware of. In addition to that, there's going to be intrigue cards that are played that also have a couple of choice language words on them. Not all of them, just a few, but they're in there. Just, something to be aware of. So the way you're going to be gaining influence in this game to make your house more powerful is you're going to be playing some of these intrigue cards, you're going to be playing schemes, you're going to be reacting to other players' misfortunes, you're going to be capitalizing on them, and you're going to be sending in your gladiators into the arena to fight in battle. And whenever a gladiator wins, that's going to gain your house influence as well. So there's a number of different ways to gain influence in this game and become powerful. Overall, it's just a really fun game. It's got a ton of player interaction. So stay tuned. We're going to sit down for a round of playthrough, and I think you'll have a good idea how the game works. Alright, so we're going to run through a quick sample turn. I'm joined by Jeremy and Brian here. First phase of the game is the upkeep phase. We're going to refresh any cards that have been used on a previous turn, like equipment, slaves, gladiators. So we're going to take all of our face-down cards that were exhausted and we're going to refresh them. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to heal any injuries. This is where you roll a d6 and determine whether or not one of your injured gladiators heals or not. We don't have any of those. And finally, we balance our ledgers. So for each slave you have, you gain 1 gold. And for each gladiator you have, you pay 1 gold. So I have 2 slaves and 1 gladiator. I gain 1 gold. So I gain 1 gold, put it in my treasury.
I have 3 gladiators, 1 slave, so I have to pay 2 gold.
I have 3 slaves and 2 gladiators, so I gain 1 gold.
And that's the upkeep phase. Next up, we have the intrigue phase. At the beginning of the intrigue phase, every player draws 3 cards, and we've already done that. And I'm going to start out because I'm the host from a previous round. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play Looting the Dead. And this requires 4 influence to play, and I have 7, so I can play this without any help. I'm going to gain 3 gold. So I play this and gain 3 gold. I am then going to get rid of this other scheme that I don't want. I'm going to discard it. And I'm going to gain the gold value on the bottom left corner, which is 2, so I'm going to gain 2 gold. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play Blackmail. This is discard a ready slave. Oop, it does go on the other side. Discarding a ready slave, and I'm going to make -1 influence to target Dominus. Brian, you lose an influence.
I'm going to use my guard to try and foil that scheme.
Okay, so he's going to roll a d6. 1, 2, or 3, he loses it anyway. 4, 5, or 6, he foils my scheme. You roll a 3. He loses his guard, and he loses an influence for my Blackmail card, my scheme landing. Discard that, and we move on to Brian's turn.
I want to play a card that requires someone else to help me. It requires 12 influence to play, and I only have 6. So since Matt made me lose it last turn, or this turn,
Yep.
I'm going to ask Jeremy for some help.
Okay.
You're going to gain an influence off of this if you help me.
Okay.
But I want 2 gold.
Sounds like to me you're kind of out of options, since you need some help anyway. I'm going to ask for 2 gold instead.
I don't like where this is going. but okay.
You get an influence. Sounds good to me.
I'm going to play Collaboration, and it will do 1 influence to 2 target players, 1 to Jeremy, and 1 to myself.
All right, there we go.
All right, and anything else you want to do?
It's my turn.
All right, Jeremy's turn.
Alrighty. So on my turn, I'm going to play Cracking the Whip. Exhaust any number of your gladiators, slaves, and guards. Take 1 gold from the bank for every asset you exhaust. So I will exhaust slave and a guard, and might as well do gladiators. Well, I'll get 3 gold.
All right, and immediately after he does that, I'm going to play a reaction card called Empty Brothel. And this is a red card. This can be played out of turn. It's a reaction card because it can be played in reaction to something. So this says -1 influence to target Dominus with no ready slaves. Jeremy over here has no ready slaves, so I'm going to play this card, and he is going to lose an influence. And now he does have a guard available, but guards can't be used because this is not a scheme. This is a reaction card.
The last part of my phase, I'll use my house ability. I can exhaust 2 gladiators to gain 2 gold.
All right,
So 2 gladiators, 2 gold.
more gold. Right, and that's the intrigue phase. This is where the meat of the game really happens, where a lot of the player interaction, a lot of the fighting really happens. So towards the end of the game, you have to pay really close attention to people's influence levels and their house special abilities and what cards they might be holding in their hand. It gets really interesting, especially later in the game. All right, next we go to the market phase, and the market phase starts with open market. We're going to do any open trading. This is the only time in the game where assets can be traded. An asset is a slave, a gladiator, a guard. These are like physical things that can be traded at this point. Anyone want to do any open trades?
I will.
What
I
do you
don't
got?
have any guards to be able to foil any schemes, so you have plenty, Matt.
I do.
I'll give you 1 slave and 1 gold for 2 guards.
That's actually a pretty good deal. I'll take it. So 2 guards for a slave and a gold. And remember, this slave is going to keep gaining me money every turn, so it's better for me. All right, and after we do the open trading, we go to the auction phase, where I'm going to draw. Well, actually, before we do that, we're going to take our money off the table. I'm going to hide it. So we have to conceal our money for the market phase so we can do auctions. So I'm going to reveal 3 cards, and I really should have done this before I grabbed my gold off the table. We're going to place them down, face down, for each player in the game. We reveal the first card, which is a shield. This is going to help a gladiator in the arena phase fight. So we're all going to take a determined amount of money secretly, and we're going to put it in our hand. We're going to hold it over the table until everybody's got their bids in. All right, and we flip our hands over and reveal. I paid 4. What do you guys got?
3.
3 and 3. So I paid the most. I put my gold into the bank, and I grab this shield to be used in a later turn. And the next card that flips over is an axe, and we would do the same thing. And then the next card that flips over is a gladiator. So I'll just randomly distribute these. I'll give Jeremy an axe, and just pretend we bid on those for the sake of that. The last thing we do is we bid for the host. Now, I was the host for the last turn, so I've carried into this turn. But now we're going to bid for the host, and this is the player who determines who goes into the arena in the next phase. So do the same thing. We bid a certain amount of money. Here, all right, we put it in the middle of the table, and we reveal. What do you got?
I got 1, 2, 7.
6.
And I have 7 as well. This is a good example. So Jeremy and I have tied. So when we place all the money down in front of us that we've already bid, and then we take another amount of money in our hand, go back to the middle. We bid again. I have chosen to add nothing more. Jeremy has overbid me by 3.
3 more.
So he pays that, and I take all this gold back. Now Jeremy becomes the host for this round. I'll put this back in my treasury. And that's the market phase. All right, the last phase of the game is the arena phase. This is where Jeremy has just become the host. So at the beginning of this phase, he gains 1 influence for being the host. So now Jeremy is going to invite 2 gladiators to the arena. He can ask himself, he can ask anybody else at the table. So who are you going to invite?
I'll start with Brian. Since you've got a shiny new gladiator, would you like to go to the arena?
Well, I have Crixus. So, yes, I will accept.
So Jeremy's trying to see a good fight here. So Brian has accepted his invitation to the arena because it was an official invite.
So now you
If
place
he had
your-
said no, Brian would lose an influence immediately. So I'm pretty sure I know who Jeremy's going to invite next.
I'm going to go... Well, since I have nobody, since I exhausted them all during my turn, which was kind of part of my plan because I was bidding on getting the host,
Good call.
I will invite Matt.
I'm pretty sure Crixus here is going to crush my gladiator because I just have a basic Thracian warrior, but I don't want to say no because I don't want to lose an influence. I'm going to put my gladiator in and just let him die in glory. So I will accept your invitation.
All right.
So now Brian and I are each going to choose one of these little miniatures. I'll be number 1 over here, and Brian will be number 2. And we're going to take our gladiators and put them over here and I'm going to equip my Thracian warrior with that shield that I won earlier. Brian, you're bringing in Crixus here, and you don't have any equipment with him.
I have no equipment with him.
So now I'm going to place a bet because Crixus is much stronger than the starting Gladiator. So I'll take, you can do a maximum of 3 per bid, so I'll take 3 gold and my token to indicate it's my bet, and I'll put it on Brian.
All right, my bet, and we don't have to do this, we're just doing it in turn order to show you. This is just sort of a free-for-all, but as much as I think Crixus is probably going to beat me, I can't bet against my own Gladiator, so I'm just going to say, I want to bet 1 gold on my self-wing, just in case I get lucky. But also what I'm going to do is I'm going to bet 2 gold on these global bets over here. I'm going to bet that there's going to be an injury. So regardless of who gets injured, I'm going to gain that gold. If one Gladiator gets injured, I'm going to get gold.
I'm going to bet that I'm going to win. And I'm also going to bet that instead of injury, it's going to be a decapitation. And I'm going to bet a maximum of 3 on that.
All right, we're going to fast forward through a battle real quick and show you the results. Okay, so our hypothetical battle has ended. My Thracian warrior has been defeated, and he has been injured. So the first thing we're doing is we're going to pay out bets. So first, I lost the battle, so I don't get anything from this. So my 1 gold bet goes right to the bank. And let's see, Jeremy, you get 3, so Jeremy's going to take 3 gold from the bank and get his original bet back. Okay. And Brian, you had 2 on your victory, so you'll get that. So get 2 money from the bank. And decapitation was also a loss. He was not decapitated, he was injured. So this is Brian's bet, it goes away. And lastly, he was injured, and this pays 2 to 1. So I bet 2, so I'm actually going to gain 4. I get my original bet back plus an additional 4. That's pretty obvious. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to give Brian, since he is the winner, he's going to gain an influence because his Gladiator won this battle. And lastly, this Gladiator was injured, so he's supposed to receive an injury token. But we don't even know if he's going to be allowed to live at this point, because Jeremy, as the host, gets to decide whether my Gladiator lives or dies. So you gonna spare me here? And this is where he's allowed to extort me for whatever amount of money he wants.
Pretty sure you already attacked me, so you're dead.
All right, my Gladiator is dead completely. He's out of here. If he had stuck around, if Jeremy would have been nice enough to spare him, he would have gained an injury token, and I'd roll to heal him on future turns. But this guy's just dead. He's totally out of the game, so he goes into the discard pile. We move on. And that's a full round of the game. Hopefully that gives you a pretty basic idea of what to expect. As the game goes on, we're going to have more equipment on our Gladiators. We're going to have all kinds of different Gladiators with special abilities going. But at least now you'll understand how a basic round works. Alright, so that was Spartacus. That was excellent. I think this game gets better the more we play it. That was our first full-length game that we've played. We've usually played quick games.
Started it.
It's true, yeah.
Basic.
Yeah, we started at the standard game, which is starting at 4 influence and playing up to 12, and I think that was great. I mean, it was like the first time we've ever had. I mean, it just gives so much time for the game to build and for people to get Gladiators and actually develop a strategy. And it was probably a couple hours. It was 2 hours, right?
Yeah. Build Gladiators and lose Gladiators.
Oh, God, yeah. So we'll do our usual thing. We'll start out with Jeremy, and we can talk about everybody did something so different. That's what was such a cool. When Brian pointed out during the game that we were all doing something totally different, and Jeremy's going to start out. Talk about what you did.
Basically, my main strategy is I like to avoid the arena myself. I took the host for the first part of the game for a while. So basically what I'll do is take host and send whoever's strongest into the battle, and then bet on them. And it keeps my money high so I can keep getting host. Yeah. But the kind of turnaround where I lost control of host was when I bet on Matt because I thought he would beat Brian's Theocles, and he ended up losing, so I lost my money there. I lost a lot of money, and then I couldn't get host back again, and I lost control from my strategy's point of view.
So we'll take a look back at my fight with Theocles, which is one of the legendary gladiators in the Spartacus universe, against my also legendary gladiator Zephyros, and you can see how that went. I wouldn't be afraid of him. I'm moving right up. I'm not going to screw him. Bringing that hammer down on Theocles. Uh-oh. Worth it. I'll do it. Fine. I'm going to exhaust it. So take 1 wound.
That one.
So you get 2 hits. Oh, wait. You had 2s versus 1s.
You get 2
That's
more hits.
2 more hits?
Crap. And run away.
Doesn't matter.
6!
Oh,
Boom!
right.
I'm excited about one hit. He's about to retaliate with 5 hits. Oh, I wish I had more defense dice. Oh,
I'm glad you
crushed
don't.
me.
6s.
6, 6, 5, 5, 4.
6s.
Yeah, 5 wounds. Oh my god.
Not dead.
Smoked him. Oh my
He was
god.
defeated, not dead.
He was defeated.
And
defeated.
Wow.
Nobody got
Keep saying-
any money.
We keep saying,
I only have 1 left. I gotta pay you off. All right.
Gladiatus?
Hey, lives.
Woo! Yeah, as you can see, that didn't go very well for me. It's just dice when it comes down to it, but still super unlikely that I got crushed by him so badly.
Yeah,
But
Zephyros' defense ability I noticed was really strong, so that's why I try and kind of put my money on his side. But since once I did see that fail, I then tried taking out Theocles, which seemed to be the only person to beat him. So you can see how that turned out. We have a clip about that too.
we definitely do.
Brian, I hear there's a rebellion in your house. Target Dominus must choose and discard 1 ready gladiator.
oh!
Theocles wouldn't do
Mind
that.
blown. Mind blown. Poof.
Wait, do you have 1 guard?
Fahuqua guards.
Oh,
Come on,
I
dice.
want this to fail so
Come
bad.
on, dice.
Come on, come on, come on.
Yes!
Oh, no!
How much?
Guard.
Probably got like a dozen. Man, I wanted you to lose that.
I wanted
so
you to lose
bad.
that
I know,
so
but
bad.
no one in the audience wanted me to.
You shouldn't drink poison wine. Injure your gladiator.
Either way, you made him ditch 2
I mean,
guard
you
cards
injured
or
my
something.
gladiator.
So flip that guy over. When he's injured, he's exhausted. But if you get down only 1 gladiator, it's really dangerous because there's several intrigue cards in the deck that will target. If you only have 1, it'll say target Dominus's.
The Dominus
So-
gets to choose. It's
Yeah.
like choose a active gladiator.
Yeah,
and
it says
just-
target Dominus chooses an active gladiator. If they only have 1 active gladiator, they have to do it. Yeah, so I didn't want that to happen to me. So I made a specific point of keeping a pretty good stock of gladiators throughout the game. I was trying to use them to barter with the other players. I was trying to use them to do a bunch of different stuff. But really, the main thing that I was doing, as Jeremy pointed out, is him and I were kind of whispering back and forth throughout the game, and I knew Jeremy had something brewing. I knew he was hanging on to cards. I knew he had some good stuff going. What did we end up doing? What was like the big thing that we did?
Towards the end there, it didn't end up working, but we fought each other, and I kind of killed my gladiator because Matt had 2 cards that would give the person who lost the gladiator, who died, influence points.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's go back to a clip of that, actually. I played a reaction card that was really cool. All right, let's bid for host, and let's go.
Right?
And go.
6, 3.
4. I don't know.
6.
Tied game.
Never mind.
Hang on a second. Jeremy, I want to fight.
Okay.
Isaac, your bid is reduced by 2 gold. Jeremy, it's yours.
Yes.
I want you to remember what I just did for you.
I like it. I like your style.
He gave me the invite. He put in his less powerful
Yeah.
gladiator.
So, yeah, basically what came out of it is Matt won the battle, so he got a victory point. His guy with 2 favor became a champion now with 3 favor. I lost a guy, so I didn't really care because I didn't have to pay for him anymore.
Less money, yeah.
And I got two victory points. And I gave him, I don't know, something.
4 gold. You gave me 4 gold for winning the fight. So it was a win-win here. And this is one of the cool things about this game. This is what I love so much about this is my gladiator is overpowered. His ability is insanely strong. His ability is whenever he rolls a 6 on defense, he deals an automatic wound, which I think we can all agree is totally overpowered.
Rolling 5 dice, getting a 6, not too uncommon.
Yeah. But what's so awesome about this game is the whole game is so much player interaction. It's all back and forth, so you can shut down somebody with a really powerful gladiator. You guys actually cut me out of 3 rounds in a row where you just didn't put me in because you knew this guy was going to crush the competition. Yeah. I had a great game with this. I mean, I was only 9 influence at the end of the game, but I had a blast. Jeremy and I were making deals together back and forth. I loved our deals to put this guy as a champion. I noticed that Jeremy was trailing behind. I took that opportunity to make a friend to make a friend.
I mean, although I was at 8, which doesn't seem very close, but I had a decent combination of cards in my hand to gain. I could have gained 4 influence in 1 turn. I was planning on doing it next turn, but Isaac managed to end the game before I could. So.
Well, we should actually say that now. We didn't say this at the beginning. Isaac is the winner. Isaac has won in this game. I mean, I'd say you won by at least 3 victory points, 3 influence. That's almost a landslide. You did well. What do you have to say?
Well, I mean, I didn't really have a plan at the beginning. I've noticed that in this game, from we played this like 4 or 5 times in a row at PAX last year. Kind of learned that you have to watch what other people are doing around you. Finding out that Brian was going to pay up to 6 gold for every single slave that he got. He has 9 over there. So I wasn't going to be... my income was going to have to come from other places.
Yep.
So I kept my game plan really, really simple. Just try to get in the ring. Try to win with Asher, who's an okay champion. But I ended up hitting myself in the face a couple times. We could probably have a clip of that from Matt using his defensive.
All right, Isaac, let's do this.
Ooh,
Damn it, that's a 6. That's 2, 6, 3.
3 6s.
Hold on.
Wait, hang
How
on.
does that rule apply?
Ball and chain.
How exactly are you hurting him when he throws something across the map?
It's not important. Let's
It's
go.
not important? Okay, just checking.
He trips and falls.
You just hit yourself in the
Oh,
face.
blocked. 3
damage.
wounds.
Oh god, that ability is so
The
strong.
almighty Zephyros. You just took 3 wounds from
So
attacking
you just
me.
hit you hit yourself with that.
I hit myself with my ball and chain.
Hammer time.
Hold on.
It is hammer time. 5, 4, and 2. Yeah, so I'll use my hammer.
Oh, you got
1,
4.
2 for your next hit.
And
And
then 2
then-
beats your 1.
2 beats your 1. That's 3 wounds.
Oh!
I'll try it. Let's do it. Oh!
You kill me.
No, hang on. Blocked.
But it still
Blocked.
does damage. Still does 2 damage.
Yeah,
Then
it
you
doesn't
take
matter.
2 damage. That was a slaughter.
that's
That
funny.
was hilarious. Yeah, that was a really fun turn. The dice were definitely on my side at that point.
So I realized that I really had to stack up against who I had originally, which was Asher, and he, with 3 attack, 4 defense, 3 speed. He's not amazing,
Yeah.
but I kind of loaded him up with a
pretty
bunch
good.
of items that I paid a lot for in the end.
Yeah.
I outbid Matt really close on a couple
Yep.
of them
Yeah.
to keep myself
And I'll
keep
just
myself
say,
in the game.
you played the market really well on that. You played, you know what, you were outbidding us by just the right amount. You were watching the amount of gold we had, whereas I wasn't paying attention at all. You know,
I think we can actually see that at the end of the game. If you want to replay that,
actually, we could probably cut back to a few clips of me not paying attention to the finances of other players when I should have been. So let's take a look at that now.
Yeah.
5.
5.
Oh,
Five.
sweet. Somebody's losing money.
How much more? How much more? I don't think Isaac has any more, actually.
Oh, we know! We both lose it!
Now it's out of the game.
Oh, man, that was so...
Yeah, you didn't have any more money. Did you have more money?
Dude, I had more money than you. Well played. Oh, God. That was so stupid. I was going to let you overbid for it to try to get it, and I totally blew it.
Next song.
All right.
So the end of the game was getting those influence points really quick. I've
Yeah.
noticed that our friend Jim actually was talking about that the last time when we played.
Yeah.
Is that time between, and you were talking about that with having those cards ready. That time between 8 and 12 influence points, you want to spit those out really quick. I didn't have to go into the ring to win,
But you went-
win it, but I wanted to go in there. I wanted to beat Matt. He beat me the first time. I beat him the second
yeah.
time with another champion, and it was
I
good.
mean-
It was good. It ended the way I wanted it to.
But you won the game with in the arena, which I have a lot of respect for. I think that you did a great job. Brian, what did you had some interesting stuff happen. You were all over the place in this game. You were getting kind of slammed back and forth.
Yeah.
You were the punching bag at a few points during this game.
I don't know if you noticed that the main strategy in the beginning was money, based off of this.
9 slaves. Yeah, you did pretty well.
I had played with these guys before, and I had known for a little bit that Jeremy likes to go for host, and there's always someone that likes to try to dominate in the arena. So I was trying to go for host later in the game, and then I kept getting more and more of the slaves, which gave me money. Eventually, each turn, I would have a huge income, and I'd be able to just sell cards I didn't want,
Yep.
and I would be able to have host every turn if I wanted, because I wasn't really going for arena, but
Once the
unfortunately, Theocles showed up, and I kind of have a habit of betting everything I have for him, because he's my favorite. And I ended up using him. I won the first battle with him, which was great. Jeremy played a bad wine card, on Theocles, and 2 turns in a row, I failed.
So
He just to heal him, and he just stayed wounded the whole time. And we can go to a clip now of what happened on my 3rd attempt to heal him.
Roll for your injury.
Roll for your injured
Oh
dude.
yeah.
This is the big moment. Are we gonna lose Theocles, the god of
Roll
shadows?
on.
Is that 3 turns?
Oh!
Poison the bottom line.
Yeah, because he
Poison wine. Poison wine. That was still working, Brian.
He's dying from the wine.
Suck it. Don't base this off the show. This doesn't happen this way in the show.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Well, that definitely is a setback.
That is a setback. Sorry,
It's
dude.
definitely a set. You're nuts. Sorry. He died. I rolled a 1.
He died.
Which is funny because the last time I actually had him and played on a game a while ago, he was killed by a highly geared starter gladiator. Other than that, I am at 6 influence. I declined a few arena matches, which brought me. I kind of bounced up and down from 4 to 7 or 8 maybe, but I ended at 6.
You took the
I
lead
was-
early. You were.
Yeah,
You did have
Nowhere
leader.
close. I did.
That's-
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did take the lead early.
I think that says something to this game. I mean, I think it's like a lot of games with some take that mechanics. I mean, this game.
Yep.
There's been some negativity about this game in terms of the way the mechanics work. This is a game where the leader gets pounded on. I mean, it's just the nature of the game.
Yeah.
You know?
It's King of the Hill.
It's King of the
Oh,
Hill.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is. And there's ways to play it right. I mean, and we talked about it before. Getting 3 to 4 points away from winning keeps you out of the spotlight and just the right amount. And then if you've got the right combinations, you can bring it up and jump ahead for the win. So the way I'll compare this, and I don't want to say Munchkin. I fear of turning people away from Spartacus. it's very much it's Munchkin in the aspect of the leader gets jumped on,
Oh,
but
sure.
there's many other ways to prevent that. But in this game, there's ways to prevent that. Like you might keep cards in your hand that people can't touch that you're saving up to play on your house special ability in the last minute. Turn order is vital. Who has the host on the last turn of the game is huge because that intrigue phase is all in turn order. The host goes first, so if the host has influence cards or special abilities to bring them up to 12 influence to win the game, there's 3 turns or however many players you're playing with, there's that many more turns after you to destroy you with negative influence abilities because they saw that you're 12, they don't want you to win. The best spot to be in, I think, is the last spot after the host. The very last turn in the intrigue phase is the best one to be in because everybody's already played their scheme cards to target you.
That's why I was really hoping Matt would win the host on that last one.
Yeah.
Because he would have been host, I would have been the last to go, and I had enough cards in my hand.
Oh, that's why
to
you
get
wanted me to
12.
win so badly. Oh, man.
Well, I mean, it's a combination of that, and it would have stopped Isaac from
That's
winning
true.
either way.
Intrigue, beautiful. I
If
love
you're host at the end of the game, you better be ready to get into the arena.
it. You better be ready. Yeah, exactly. Or you better be able to put yourself into a spot in
Yeah.
an advantageous position.
I could
Sure,
have put
that-
myself to 12 that last turn as well, but I knew if I knew Isaac was still going to get 12 as well, unless someone stopped him.
Right.
So if there's 2 people at 12, you have a fight at the end.
A showdown.
And I would have had to get rid of my gladiators to get to 12, so I
Yep.
would have had 0 gladiators.
I mean, the more we play this game, I just think the better it gets. Like it's
Yeah.
it's so fun, and this is. I guess I would take a moment to say this is not a game for folks who don't like player interaction or
Yeah.
attacking your friends. But we all kind of laughed it off, and it's funny. But man, it's brutal. You know, you're making
This is a
deals.
game for a group of close friends
Yeah.
because you do not care. I mean, I will go from 1 second of crapping on Brian and then turn right around and do it to Jeremy
Yep.
or you. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
There's no hard feelings at the end. It just is what it is.
You and I, we made a deal. We had this whole thing with the champion,
Yeah.
and then 2 minutes later, I saw you trying to gain gold, and I shut it right down.
Actually,
Actually,
that's true.
we have a clip of that too. Actually, just a quick reaction card.
You get 2 gold per ready slave. So at 16, you give me 10 gold. I'll play it on you.
Yes.
So
What are you playing?
playing illicit services.
All right, I'm going to call in support from Rome. I'm foiling a scheme, and I'm going to retrieve a guard card from the discard pile.
I just counted all my money.
Yep. No, I'm not letting that happen. Yeah, so that's the nature of the game. I mean, your alliances,
Yeah.
the alliances that you make, they're only for the moment. And
That's right.
And God,
I was just trying to get some money, man. I only had 6 gold there right at the end. I had nothing.
I've already said this, but I have to say it again. There's no reason why this game should be as good as it is. But against all odds, I mean, this is literally just a picture from the Stars television show. But
Yeah.
the game is awesome. I mean, there's some there's some decent art. I mean, it's okay.
More than most games that I play,
Yeah.
this, just the theme of it brings you into it and you are ready to go into battle.
That's true.
And I think it's really one of those games that finds that niche where the theme actually matters.
Yeah.
Puts you in the
It's
mood
true.
to
It's
really
true.
kick some ass.
Yeah, the game is much more than just combat. There's a betting system. There's like a versus like the intrigue phase is just all like negotiating, fighting over people, and then the betting system is trying to get people to spend too much money on something that's not worth it.
There's a lot.
There's
What would you call
a lot
those
of depth.
mechanics? I mean, this is resource management for sure.
Yeah.
There's an auction bidding point. There's some very light miniatures tactical combat. I mean, it combines all these little mechanics.
It's 3 genres.
Like, as cheesy it is to like base a game on a TV show, they just did a really good job with this game. Like,
I think the first time you pick up the card, Jupiter's you fall in love. I mean, you really do.
I think you nailed it. So, as you think you can see, we all very much enjoyed this game. It's awesome. If you haven't checked it out, you definitely should. It's got to be played with the right group, but I think for the most part, you'll really enjoy it. So, I hope you guys all enjoyed watching this. We had a good time. We hope you'll join us again soon.
May Jupiter's be with you.
We're going to cut that out. Take it easy. Bye. All right, I just want to jump in real quick before we go, and I want to mention that if you pick this game up and you notice that some of the cards we played with today in this video aren't in your game, that's because we've already mixed in the expansion for this, the Servants and the Wolf expansion. This is by no means something you need to enjoy this game. The base game is excellent on its own. I played with the base game for the majority of my games at this point, but this is just something that adds a bunch more cards to the game. It brings the player count up to 6. Just adds a bunch of great stuff to it. So, obviously, since I like this game, I highly recommend this as well, but certainly not something you need. Anyway, just didn't want you to be wondering. And lastly, I just want to say thank you, everyone, again, so much for watching our videos. We've got such great feedback, and you guys have been awesome. So, thanks so much. We're excited to keep doing these videos, and we hope to keep making them more frequently as well. So, thanks for watching.